This is WWL TV Channel 4 in New Orleans. It's 10:30 p.m. and it's time now for the WWL Late Night News for this Friday night, February 3rd, 1967, with Jim Kincaid and the news. Don Westbrook River and half Claudius to turn out. Jim Kincaid, good evening, everybody, and here's what's happening at 10:30 p.m. Federal District Judge Lanston L. Mitchell refused Biden to allow reorganization under the federal bankruptcy law to the Sam Rizal Summerland Title Corporation immediately after Judge Mitchell ruled. Cicero Citizens attorney for 10 unsecured creditors of the corporation filed another petition asking the corporation to be allowed to reorganize. The case was allotted to Judge Frederick R. Beebe. Sessions claimed that the forced liquidation and sets of the Sutherland and its where its wholly owned subsidiaries would have stolen the sacrifice of those assets and great determinant of its creditors' power, particularly those ordinary creditors whose aggregate claims amounted not less than $4.8 million. He also alleged that the best interest of the corporation and in its subsidiaries, as well as the creditors and stockholders, would be best of those served by the continued operators of the business of the corporation of it under a plan of reorganization. King Hermes the 27th led his flood and neon lighted 15-foot parade fought the streets of the city Friday night, depicting Prince Francis coming in America. The Bryn Cruz related the story of Hal Foster's famous newspaper cartoon strip hero and his discovery of the New World some 1,000 years before Columbus ventured west to seek the east. Among those will be reviewed the parade from the balcony of Gallery Hall will be created a Prince Valiant who with Mrs. Foster who came from the home of Reading, Connecticut to be the guest of Hermes at its parade and a tableau ball. Chile greeted parade viewers Friday night as warmer weather will be forecast for Saturday. Saturday will be a big day as 4 parades grill. They are Iverson Noon, Grilla at Gretna at 2 p.m., Indian at 6:30 p.m., and Jason and Mark Shannon at 6:45 p.m. The brisk weather brought out a variety of headgear for toddlers who sported wool caps and ear-muffled helmets and dressed along the parade route. Right from the teeny bopper to furs and bell gowns, but everyone was bundled up. And Don Westbrook have the weather for the weekend after around 11:45 p.m. Harold Hal Foster, for 30 years, artistic spinner of the tales of the times of King Arthur, throughout the weekly comments to Prince Valiant, believes that comments can teach history beyond any history books and such as should be preserved for future generations like any other art form. Phil Johnson has a report. Journeying with Mrs. Foster with the home in West Reading, Connecticut to the View Carnival, Foster studied a 60-ish pipe spoken creditors whose work has made him a renowned historian in the days of Reholding. A unique distinction was recorded when Foster and when the cruise of Hermes used Prince Valiant characters in a straight parade and ball Friday night. The second time it had done so, the first time was in 1955, and then Fosters were on hand to view the festivities. He is believed to be the only newspaper artist whose work has ever been used trying for a carnival throne. Of a carnival theme. While attending the crew of Hermes Ball in the Municipal Auditorium, Foster was named a Knight of King Arthur's Round Table by proclamation of His Majesty King Hermes the 27th. Without previous warning, Foster was called forward by King Hermes, who stated, "Be it proclaimed for fidelity to truth and honor in historical literature and in his great gift to mankind of stories, total illustrative artistry with the singing sword of Prince Valiant told upon the shoulders, Sir Hal Foster is crested a Traybill."
When people can't get that, what they do is they...
Of an night at King Arthur's Round Table, the stunning Camelot on this 3rd day of February 1967 by the command of Hermes the 27th. This proclamation engraved on a silver plaque was then presented to Foster of us monuments of the occasion. Phil Johnson, WWL TV Channel 4 News.
We have over 20,000 people trained on a drug that actually will save you from overdose.
In Lake Charles, Louisiana, an explosion and fire erupted offshore.
Saved by the administration of this drug, Narcan.
Drilling platform in the Gulf of Mexico late Friday, 5 men were reported missing and presumed dead. 10 more men were injured, 2 were reported in critical condition. We heard a spoon sound and then an explosion, said R.E. Campbell, 33, of Allenton, Texas. Everything on the platform was on fire and the diesel fuel was running down on the deck. Below it started on fire, he said. The fire started about 3:40 p.m. and one of the 15 men on the platform said it was believed to be an explosion in an S-line tank being used by a welder to touch it off. The blaze on the platform and rig burned down about 6:45 p.m. and it was reported the 4 gas wells on the platform did not catch fire. Campbell said that the RV Heritage 50 of Vidor, Texas, and RJ Trad of Lafayette, Louisiana, broke out of the wood door to the living quarters of the platform and slid 70 feet down a rubber hose. And on both led to the water's edge. They stayed there until the boats picked up and took to a nearby production platform. Once David Buck of Bubbo jumped nearly 100 feet into the water, he was working above the platform, which is over 100 feet by 70 feet and above 70 feet above the waves. And a helicopter was flying nearby at the time of the explosion. The plot dropped life jackets to Buck and 3 others who were in the water. I can ran for the radio and then we sound a warning. Said Heritage, but the power was already out. There was fire everywhere. The platform and rig, each valued about $500,000, was located about Buck 390 to about 35 miles southeast of Cameron in the Gulf of Mexico. 3 helicopters ferried to the injured from the rigs to a hospital here in nearby Creo. 8 coastal community, all 4 gas wells have been completed by the Catco Group.
Underlying issue of depression and get to those folks before they end up.
Mark J. Felgus, 63-year-old, a wealthy real estate owner, is dead, and his brother John, 66, was listed in fair condition following surgery after being shot by a pair of Negro men during the hold-up to tap Friday after the Garden District. Mark Falco was shot in his left side by one of the 2 Negro hoodlums trying to rob his rental collection office in the rear of his home at 2318 St. Charles Avenue. His brother John, of 1437 Continental, who worked with Mark, was wounded in the stomach and grazed on the arm and taken to Taro Infirmary. The 2 older men, both in their 20s, entered the office where John Falco was working at a door, which opened the door to the backyard of the residence shortly after 3 p.m. One pulled a pistol while the man in money, according to Captain Warby Lampard, 6th District Commander. Lampard said that John Falcus grabbed the gun and tried to wrestle away from the Negro, but it was shot in the stomach and the arm. John called for his brother Mark for aid and recovery. Then after he came to his brother's assistance, he was shot in his left side and died instantly, Lampard said. Lampard added that there was a considerable sum of money on hand, but it appeared that the older man fled empty-handed. When he Haldeman was last seen fleeing the scene.
Because, and also, there's no such thing as a second chance. We're talking about a 16th, 17th, and 18th.
In Moscow, Soviet police working to
social drug the way Molly is already spread.
It'll inside Red China's embassy grounds Friday night tore down an anti-Soviet display and beat up Chinese diplomats who tried to intervene. The Chinese spokesman charged. The foreign ministry called the charge of beating the diplomats slander and provocation, but it did not deny that police forcibly removed the display after the Chinese rejected a demand to take it down. The display was on a glass and billboard 2 feet inside the grounds and once consisted of pictures showing violence in Red Square on June 25th when 60 Chinese students tried to lay a wreath on Stalin's grave. Correspondent who went to the Chinese embassy saw it in a snow pieces of glass and splintered ends of the stakes that held the billboard.
Taking care of them, but also preemptively taking care of the young people.
In Berlin, 4 Americans, one a young woman, was released from prison in Communist East Germany on Friday night and then crossed into West Berlin and shouts of freedom. Al had been in East German prison for more than a year and were released for serving their full sentences, therefore told Missouri that they were tried belated. They were Mary Ellen Battil, 26 of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Moses Sarah, 26 of Akron, Ohio, and Frederick Matthews, 24 of Elwood City, Pennsylvania, William W. Levitt, 26 of San Francisco, California. The release was arranged by West Berlin lawyers Jürgen Steingen and his counterpart in East Berlin, Wolfgang Vogel, working in cooperation with U.S. State Department officials. Vogel participated in a swap with a U.S. U-2 pilot, Francis Gary Powers, the Soviet master spy, Colonel Rudolph Abel. Maxwell Rahman, New York attorney and president of the U.S. Committee of Refugees, also helped secure releases of the 4. Officials in Washington said that they were aware that the secret talks preceded an American release, but assumed newsmen that a no-swap arrangement was involved in the release.
Was very rough with the children. I noticed with the Caden especially.
Saigon, U.S. Air Force's jet streak fought intense anti-aircraft Friday
over a dozen times.
with anti-aircraft fire to bomb a major railroad yard and a railroad bridge north of Hanoi, U.S. military headquarters reported Saturday. U.S. headquarters said a break in the bad weather of the past few weeks allowed U.S. pilots to strike north of
And it just didn't come. DCF
Hanoi, but the Raiders encountered a heavy flak. There were no reports of aircraft downed by the ground fire. At least 8 ammunition pads loaded with artillery shells blew up Saturday at a huge U.S. Army ammunition dump near Saigon, and there was immediate speculation was the work of the vehicle. U.S. headquarters in Saigon emit first accounts indicated no casualties, but late reports said 2 American servicemen were injured.
1 week later,
A decision Andrea protested.
Orleans Civil Sheriff Harold J. Gilbert reported 19 absentee votes were cast Friday at the total of the February 11th election rose to 26. For the deadline, Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon for city councilmen from District B, Ward 1, 10, 11, 12, and 13 are involved. The sheriff's office is on the 4th floor of the Civil Courts building on 421 Loyola. In news shorts, in international affairs, South Vietnamese may choose president in early summer under plans disclosed by Premier Key. About 50,000 Spanish university students barred from classes due to reforms may be reconsidering. Miles Kemp concedes claims of victory in two cities may be been premature. In national news, Carl Spatt declines position with Louisiana Tax Commission for salary reasons. James Comiskey seems near judgment after appearance before Senate Judiciary Subcommittee. NASA reports some Zethos Apollo 1 spaceman died of smoke inhalation. River resigns as vice president of the AFL-CIO, keeps president of Industry Union Department. In local affairs, Louisiana Supreme Court agrees to consider malice issue in the Walker case. First hearing of Pueblo's sewage service charges resulted almost to opposition. 21 young Brazilians are abandoning Getty at home to come to New Orleans Mardi Gras. Jefferson Downs president asked Kenner to allow to work to begin a $4 million racetrack. Whoa! Veto any proposal for overhead approaches the bridge on uptown residential area, says Chavro. And European radius continue best customers for exports ship fat no wallets 1965 figure show. Don Westbrook will have the weather and hot cloudy with sports coming up next here on WWL Late Night News. There, stay tuned.
Jennifer, it's really a horrible story. So you have discovered these 95 cases, but you say it's possible there are many, many more that we don't know about.
This is a 67 milk per saver. Total value $3,345. There. Air conditioned, power steering, automatic transmission at Bernie DeMas Buick at the Buick Fell Carnival Days at Bernie DeMas Buick at 4600 Chef Munter opposite Sears and Nons.
So other cases of neglect, it's not homicide. Some of these were homicides, so they don't really pinpoint a death. So why can't they be classified the way these were?
Well, these include abuse and neglect. So this includes all these children, but also there's a serious undercount of children who die in the United States of America and also through DCF. So it's clear there's more, but also just the numbers say that they only were able to give us till 2010.
So you're trying to compare this to other states, and you're having a hard time doing so. How come?
Well, it's for the same thing. These numbers aren't taken very well, and it's one of the big problems in the United States is that we don't know as much as we should. There's actually a commission that was just created by the president that's going to look into this, and I talked to one of the commissioners who said one of the first things he's going to do next month when he meets with this group is talk about how to better look at these numbers because it is important.
All right, Jennifer McKim, thanks for your report. Appreciate it. All right, so what can be done to protect children under state supervision? Jetta Bernier is the executive director of the Boston-based Massachusetts Medicine for Children.
Don't forget your hot dog rolls for Mardi Gras with Sunbeam Batter Whip Compare Bread.
Caught up in the system. At any given time, I think it's like 3,600 families, and you don't know how many children in that. It's exponential to be 10,000 people.
Brings on Fever Fast, the first hospital created to answer the special needs of children. Before this hospital was first made, doctors were consulted. That's why today, more buffers buy it for alienated or feverish children. With important facts about it. First with 1¼ grain dosage that doctors recommend for children from you of worry. First with pure non-official orange flavored children accepted without fuss. First with snap card cap that are discouraged unwanted tempered by children and pure noir drugs mixed in such as the congestions that might add children wakeful. You can trust St. Joseph's aspirin for children. American Multiple and child favorite recommended 4-to-1 by children's doctors who named board a nationwide survey.
We worked with DSS for 4 years in an out-of-court agreement, and we saw the improvements that they made. We saw training for foster parents. We saw medical passports.
All right, now on the weather now. Here now is Don Westbrook.
Figure out how they could learn from them. We saw multidisciplinary teams develop in the system. So I think that from our perspective, we have a kind of an historic perspective here.
Take it away, Mr. Westbrook. Okay, good evening, everybody, and right now here in New Orleans International Airport at...
But we now have children's advocacy centers that bring together forensic interviews.
10:30 on this Friday night.
To help them solve these complicated cases of serious abuse and sexual abuse.
There's a perception of what
February the 3rd, 1967. We have
we'd like to keep children in the families. That's
a temperature of
But in the case of
47 degrees with a dew point about 41 degrees, the humidity 8%. Barometer that's 3.24 inches, visibly about 8 miles, but winds not northeast about 7 miles. Okay, let's take a look at our regional temperatures around the region. It is 47 out in Hammond, 47 in Gulfport, 45 in Biloxi with light drizzle or light rain. It's 43 out in Baton Rouge, 43 in New Iberia, 48 in Lake Charles, 50 in Mormont, Texas, 42 in Alexandria, Louisiana, 42 in Natchitoches, Louisiana, 40 in Shreveport, 40 in Monroe, 38 in Vicksburg, 38 in Jackson, 40 in Meriden, 40 in Macomb, 40 in Hattiesburg.
Head trauma, shaken baby syndrome, almost any kind of blunt force trauma is going to.
Okay, let's take a look at our
There's even some new.
map situation for tomorrow. It's going to be appearing to be in northern portions of the Pacific Northwest. Friday night will be raining according to U.S. Weather Bureau. Report also to no areas indicated in the Great Lakes and now for tomorrow. It'll be colder skies for much of the
CPS department.
eastern half of the nation, while warmer in the middle section of the country from Missouri down to Kansas and colder up
Who's in foster care.
in the Northern Rockies and Canada, while rainy conditions in the Pacific Northwest stretching of the British Columbia and down to the Washington state.
Rights will terminate.
Low pressure starting in South Carolina and high pressure starting east of Nevada and down from Mississippi and down up into the Northern Bay. There.
That if a child is in foster care and the state doesn't feel comfortable having
Okay, let's take a look at our forecast for New Orleans vicinity. Will go like this.
investigation, but in
Cloudy to part cloudy, not so cold on Saturday and Saturday night. Sunday part cloudy, a little warmer. Northeasterly winds about 8 to 60 miles an hour. Pick up in southeasterly about Sunday. High Saturday about 58 to 62 degrees. For Louisiana, cloudy to part cloudy, not so cold Saturday and Saturday night. Sunday part cloudy, a little warmer. High about Saturday about 54 to 64 degrees. For southern Mississippi, cloudy to part cloudy, not so cold Saturday and Saturday night. Sunday part cloudy, a little warmer. High Saturday 52 to 62 degrees.
total secrecy because it involves
Sunrise about 6:49 a.m. and sunset about 5:40 p.m. Moon rises out 3:01 a.m. and 1:17 p.m.
the western part of our country.
High water tide about 12:50 a.m. and 6:45 p.m. tomorrow, and
Specifically, this issue
low tide about 12:15
that
p.m. and 7:15 p.m.
massive
High water tide at Southwest Pass at 5:08 p.m. and 2:59 a.m. and Southwest Pass in Biloxi Bay will have 5:10 a.m. and 6:10 p.m.
in the past couple of years, they're now A and B. So I'm starting to wonder, what is it about our laws that we could perhaps consider?
And Mississippi for New Orleans, 0.0 inches in the gauge 0, flood stage 17, present stage 1.6, 25, change down, open 1, and that is going to be it for the
Reporter told me the other day.
weather. I'm Don Westbrook saying have a good weekend, and coming in next will be
And she said, isn't that terrible? And I said, well, I know. What about the other 20%? Were visits made at week 5? Did
Hep Glotty and the sports.
Mom and Dad were home? We don't know. And so, luckily, though, we do have the Office of the Child Advocate. That's an improvement over previous years.
Take away, Hep.
We are providing.
Okay, thank you.
Janet Bernier. Thanks so much for your insights on this. Appreciate it. Our in-depth focus report continues tomorrow. We'll take you inside the partner
Tulane may have a small hurricane to contend with in Mal Graham when it
base and
Green Wave hosts New York University Saturday night at 8 o'clock. The 6'1", 185-pound whirlwind Norway owns several violent records, including individual game scoring high of 48 points, single season high of 68 points, and season field goal high of 165. He broke his own individual scoring record of 47 points with 40-174 victory over Wagner earlier this season. Svaya scored 1,392 during his first career, compared with a 1,467 all-time record of Barry Kramer. He carries a 20-point average with 6th best in the nation, but has broken out with 43 points once, 39 once, 37 once, and 32 tries in the year. And on initiative is record-breaking 48.
work project.
Graham will be competing with the Green Waves. Al Andrews will become Tulane's all-time second leading scorer this week. Andrews has a 17.8 average in his 18 in the Waves, 99-84 victory. Lost to Purdue this week on
For decades and decades.
enabling them to surpass Jim Mifflin's 1,179 for a career total of 1,191.
like driverless cars, like the computer on
Junior Don Moser, who led the wave against Purdue with 10 points and his average about 12.2. Johnny offers a 14.8 average, Terry having 14.7, and Billy Fitzgerald 13.2. Sophomore Bob Spuck, a starter for the last 6 games in which Tulane lost only once, shows a 7.4 average. Bruce Kaplan carries a 15.5 average, and Jim Miller is hitting a 10.4 clip for the Violets. Tulane and New York University has met 3 times before, with the Violets won in 41-37 in 1947 and 74-47 in 1958. Tulane won in 1955. A 72 of the Green Wave will return to the visit next year, playing in the Madison Square Garden.
There's no interesting head-to-head competition between a human and a computer anymore.
And Bob Desert Cluster Foods.
Around the world.
3 rounds, it's Tom Westcott and Chichi Rodriguez are tied the lead at 2-11.
The right team will murder the best human, the best computer.
Bob Pettit, a former LSU and St. Louis Hawks star, has been asked to join the Orleans Buccaneers as coach and director of player personnel. Sean Downey Jr., president of Crescent City's entry in the newly organized American Basketball Association, made the announcement Friday at a news conference at the press club. Bob said he wouldn't take the owner to advertisement. Downey explained he is our first choice. The ABA, whose formation was announced from New York Thursday, will begin operation in late November and will run for the latter part of the next month. Downey announced his association's El Tori. Currently, Ronnie Cole, James A. Ware, Charles G. Smither, and Lionel J. Cunningham, a 7th well-known figure, will be added in the group in the very near future. Donnie said the Buccaneers will play their home games in Loyola Fieldhouse until the Dome Stadium in operation. ABA team will play a 70-game schedule with the Bucs playing the 26 games at Loyola and 6 home games in another Louisiana city. We're not in a position to name the city, Donnie said, but we are currently negotiating to play a half dozen of our home games here. Cost of the franchise, Donnie said, is $260,000. The new league just Thursday signed former NBA star George Mikan as commissioner.
When your tires hit the track, it's computerized, it's set to 60 miles an hour. The distance between the cars.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Pet Shop Loyola of New Orleans is licking its wounds from the 2 consecutive feats invading LaSalle College Saturday night at the Palestra. Loyola coach Ron Green, who suspended 4 players from the team early in the week, will start 3 sophomores and 2 juniors against LaSalle. Opening the Gardens, previous sophomores Ron Rich and Charlie Powell, sophomore Tom Sevlin will Kabai, forward post long and the junior Jim Judkowski, junior Dan
Again, that's good.
Bell will open at center. 2 of the suspended players, Barry Garrity and Lee Freeman, who was starters, John Erb, another regular, is all
And what are the next opportunities?
alien but probably play.
Where is it?
The Wolfpack takes a 12-3 record in the game. Paige Coffin, a 32, former Ole Miss fullback and place kicking specialist, Friday became the first player to sign a New Orleans Saints contract. Coffin will be a place kicker specialist for the Saints, according to Vic Schreck, the director of the player personnel. Coffin played with the Los Angeles Rams from 1957 to 1959. He is a free agent.
One of our strongest recommendations is let's make sure we're creating the right business environment, because entrepreneurship is where job growth comes from.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Louisiana State University officials turned perimeter inspector Friday has published report that football coach Charlie McClendon will be chosen LSU athletic director Saturday. McClendon said no one talked to him about the job he left vacant in the death of Jim Corbett last Sunday. There'll be no rush in the situation, will be no quickie. Overnight things said Willem Pitcher, chairman of the LSU Board of Supervisors, and all probably will be following the same procedure we did in naming Paul Dietzel and football coach and Jim Corbett. Athletic director Pitcher said certainly no one has talked to me about this. McClendon said I have good faith for Chancellor and the LSU board, and I'm sure that they are going to come up with the best for the university. We all hope the best. Chancellor Cecil Taylor said in the report, anybody saying that it will appoint him and somebody speculating that at this moment. Pitcher said he will ask the board to set up the same procedure for the naming of successor to Corbett that has been followed in the past. Pitcher denying the board admit in the secret session for the last 2 days to discuss the situation committee meetings began Friday, he said. Time and no names discussed, he said. Corbett died on Sunday after suffering a massive heart attack. He had been athletic director for 12 years.
This sort of thing, DIY.
Furl Sale has been the credential to make a runaway for the Saturday's $10,000 at the Thelma Stakes at the Fairgrounds. The Class 2 3-year-old daughter with a win sale will show the top weight of 119 pounds will include crafty Joy Lopez. Omari Miss Z.K. Thomas, a Kentuckian Furl Sale, won 3 big ones at the 2-year-old taking a Bewitch Stakes at Keeneland, the Deputy State Judge Churchill Downs on a Derby Day, and the Mademoiselle at Arlington Park. In the Chicago Triumph, the race teachers Art and Winsome, a pair of fillies, went on to win the 2-year honors last year. Furl Sale was later injured and now in the Monmouth Park was out of training for a spill. Her race preps included she raced for accommodation. She went 5/8 recently at 101 1/5, and Tuesday she was caught at 3/4 and 113 4/5, and Friday morning worked 5 into 102. Main opposition in Furl Sale could come from Sheenan. From the holiday staples, that double winner including her triumph at Panba. Daddy's Big Girl won last 2. Starts for Fairlands class tested trained by veteran coordinator Felix Wando.
Still Run Dry is a collection of female body parts rendered in glass.
And they're all kind of like desiccated and they have
Louisiana bred owned by Patrick Betty and trained by Esther Blanca is a 5-time winner of the Evangeline Downs. Then after winning one started here by 10 lengths, she won a disappointing race in Louisiana Futurity. She went in the post with 1 and 3 choice and finished 9th. Miss Quite a number Louisiana bred won 4 races at Lafayette has 1-1-6 coming in the fairgrounds. Brandon and Field from examination Miss Miriam, Philly and Sunset Girl Plessis and Caratang. A 10 race program is taken for the Saturday post time, but the first seat will be 1 p.m.
So you've got this,
Okay, cage results. In the NBA was New York 124, Detroit 111, St. Louis over Boston 131 113, and Chicago Bulls over the Cincinnati Royals 118 113. College basketball scores was Penn 74, Harvard 56, Princeton 30, Dartmouth 16, Tulane freshman 89, SLC freshman 83, Cornell 80, Yale 73, Brown 90, Columbia 85. The Citadel 73, VMI 70 was Washington Lee 72, St. Andrews 26, Non 60 was 87, St. Fosh 48 was Jacksonville State 114, Mississippi College 97. High school, De La Salle 62, St. Lucius 51, Redemption 70, Rommel 53, Holy Cross 60, Shaw 44, East Jefferson 43, West Jefferson 41, 40 56, Berman 40, Nichols 67, McDonough 65, Chalmette 59, Easton 45, St. Bernard 77, Lafayette 62, St. Vincent 74, Martin 55, St. Augustine 73, Carver 67, it was. Xavier Prep 97, McDowell 25, 53. Bolton 77, Lafayette 49, 69. St. James 49, Shady Grove 36, Ridgewood 96, Princeton 55. Assumption 55, Hannahville 47, St. Trinity Name 1, Burglosa 33, Copeland 67, Marchand 29, Citadel 84, Terrebonne 60, Franklin 76, Crowley 70,
you can always find us online at
California NI 45, Maine 35, Midland A 1, Allo 28, St. Michael 76, Judas 47, Xavier 97, McDonough 25, 53, Iberia 37, Northside 26, West South 56, St. Francis I 46, Central 76, Zachary 57, Jackson 68, LSD 49, St. Paul 63, Lutcher 52, Buckeye 78, with the Mumble 29, Mount Carmel 71, Father Turlins 54, Abbeville 55, Cathedral 51, and Clark 69, Landry 66. Vanderbilt 76 says Esterton 55, Bell City 69, Sam Houston 59, Destreffin 86, Covington 50 was Morgan City 61 as Philippito 59. Two of the state's basketball powers clad Saturday when Newman's Greenies meet South Lafayette at Newman Gym. Jim Varsity extra starts at 7 p.m. and South Lafayette leads District 6 AAA while Newman stands the top District 7A. Both are ranked in the state's top 20. Jim Miller, middleweight from Toronto, Canada, will be placed in welterweight Hugh figure for the Jolly Peregrines for 6-7-4 in the year's first Garden Boxing Club Thursday at the Municipal Auditorium. Figueroa has returned to his native Chile and has faced problems getting back to the United States. A million human being, meaning a young middleweight, will begin his pro career in 63, and Miller's defeated the current Canadian welterweight Lennox Box in 1966 and 1965. Miller lost a close 10-round decision to former Canadian welterweight King Joy Durrell, who lost a blistering 10-round battle to Pellegrini here in 1966. Pellegrini and Albany have to give weight to Miller since Jerry has never fought over the welterweight, and Wing magazine lists Miller as a middleweight The Canadian middleweight had a 5-2-3 record for 6 bout as described as improved fighter on whom he put out the way by GBC matchmaker Mike Cusimano. GBC has instructed record for 31-2 over 10 rounders out of 4. Popular junior welter per Sipu. Hameen Specialty, Timmy Ford of Jacksonville, Florida, and 1 tenor in Wisconsin. Body puncher Roger Watkins and rematch with Mel Mabata. Houston Belter has shoulder flashy left jab and hooking against Watkins in the first hand. Jim Bailey, Lester Jackson middleweight open a side in a 4-rounder. In modern ground, we got at a side in a slated match. And that's we have the WWL late night news on this Friday night. February 3rd, 1967. I'm Jim Kincaid alongside Don Westbrook and Hop Carter said have a good night, and coming in next on Channel 4 will be the Friday night movie on Channel 4, Certain Smile, starring John Fontaine and Rosa Brazil. From the Channel 4 News, I'm Jim Kincaid saying good night. See you tomorrow. Good night.